This is episode number 96 of the Homeowner Show. Whether you're DIY or looking to hire, we're here to help you find the best information and options for you and your home. My name is Kevin Hackett, and here with me is Craig Williams.
Hello, and welcome to the Homeowner Show. We're glad that you could join us for this special episode of the Homeowner Show. It's late at night when we're recording this one, so I'm especially socially lubricated. How are you, Kevin?
I don't know what to say to that. But yeah, it's late. It has been a long day for me, but I tell you what, this is going to be a good episode.
It is going to be a good episode.
No doubt.
A little saucy.
Yeah. Well, whenever we have the topic that we're going to be talking about late at night, it is what it is. But how you doing, man?
I'm doing pretty good, man. We've had some interesting things happen around the Williams household.
Yeah. What do you mean by that?
Well, one of the things from my past that will pop up from time to time is my history in the culinary arts, vis-a-vis a catering business that we ran for a while.
Yeah, and I'll just tell you, if people out there don't know, you're a really good cook.
Well, thank you.
And I mean, I profess to be a very good grill master, smoke person,
right?
Not like of the peace pipe,
okay, but
of the grill smoking.
You can do both at the same time. It's fine.
I mean, I've been told, but
never partaken.
No,
okay.
But I do enjoy that. But you're a very good cook all the way around,
which is why I will always be right about everything in the kitchen, including the kitchen sink.
Well, that's not true, according to Facebook. But
what? Anytime you have to say to prove your point, according to Facebook.
Well, you were according to Wikipedia.
I think you've automatically discredited your entire point. So,
and here we go. So back to your original point: culinary arts and
my history
business.
Yeah. So basically, we ran a very specialized catering business. My dad owns I think it's a 1863 Weber chuck wagon.
It's legit.
It is extremely legit. It's such a cool piece. And we would do authentic cowboy cookery out of the chuck wagon. So everything in cast iron, everything on open fire. Like we did like a really big event one time for like Warner Ladders. We did several events, lots of weddings, several restaurants, especially around rodeo season, wants the wagon just to be there.
Yeah.
But I mean, just to be really brutally honest, it's a pain in the butt to haul that thing around.
Well, it's in a 16-foot enclosed trailer, right?
Yeah, it's a 20-foot enclosed trailer.
Okay, 20 foot.
Yeah.
So it's even bigger than that. So it's kind of like it's taken apart. Right?
Yeah.
I mean, you have to put it together every time.
Well, no, we don't have to put the wagon together. But there's so many parts and pieces that go with the wagon, and it's so old. I mean, like we really take care in getting it in and out of the wagon.
Sure.
I mean, in and out of the trailer.
Sure.
And so you kind of have to take your time. I mean, it's well put together. It's not brittle or anything like that, but you don't want to take any chances of breaking it. I mean, because here's the thing. This thing was actually on a cattle drive at one point from Missouri to Texas.
Goodness.
In the 1800s.
Wow.
And then it ended up in Texas, and then somehow it ended up in our possession. And it has the original paint,
man.
And so like it's been well preserved, it's been really well taken care of, and so we didn't want to like not honor that.
Sure.
Even though we're and really we weren't actually doing anything in the wagon. The wagon was just the showpiece around which we were preparing the food.
Okay.
And we would do some really, really cool stuff, man. I think my favorite thing that we did that was like a menu item out of that wagon was grilled quail with blackberry bourbon sauce.
Wow.
I mean, it was a phenomenal dish. We did some other stuff that was really, really good too. I mean, like, everyone really loved our chicken fried steak and, all those other kind of like main home cooking kind of stuff that you would expect. But
yeah,
we did some high end stuff too. So anyway, we've ceased, and it's not that we couldn't, build a legit business off of that. It would have been really easy. It's just a lot of work.
Yeah.
That you have to be present for, and you really don't want to trust this thing to anybody else to take care of.
Right.
So we really haven't used it in a couple of years regularly. We busted out for regular events when people forked over the right amount of cash. So there was an opportunity that came up. I think it's the Flying W Ranch, and I'm sorry if I'm getting this completely wrong, you wonderful people in Colorado. But there's this place in Colorado, and I think it's the Flying W Ranch. Maybe you can look it up or something. But I think it was last year or a couple years ago that the entire place just got taken in Colorado forest fires. And it was a place that people would go experience a cowboy cookout and a sing along and all these things that you might experience on a cattle drive.
Is that where the Bardi Wranglers were?
I don't know. I have no idea. I have very little knowledge about what actually went on there.
There is a Flying W Ranch in Colorado Springs.
Okay, yeah, it's in Colorado Springs. So anyway, if they're singers, then yeah, it's probably them.
Okay. Well, due to COVID-19, their reopening has been moved to Friday, July 10th.
That's them.
Now you know.
Yep,
I found them.
So
it's flyingw.com, by the way.
Okay. FlyingW.com, shout out.
There you go.
Anyway, so here's what's going on. When the forest fires happened, they lost everything. One of the things that they lost was their chuck wagon.
Oh, man.
And the lady who now has the Flying W Ranch went to high school with my mom. And they were friends on Facebook, and she'd seen a couple pictures of the chuck wagon, and she reached out and said, hey, is there any chance you guys might be interested in, having the chuck wagon be a, semi-permanent fixture here at the ranch? Because we lost ours. It went down in flames. We really want to reopen the ranch and, start getting people back out here again. Would that be something that would interest you? And my dad had always, had been, for over the past couple of years, like, well, let's just sell it. And so basically what they're doing is they're allowing them the use of the chuck wagon indefinitely.
Really? So it is being moved.
Yes.
To the Flying W.
To the Flying W.
Interesting.
To be used at their jamboree or whatever it is that they have.
Cool.
There. They have like a big meal and a show and things like that. And
that's so just so you know, that's very similar to what the Bardi Wrangler chuck wagon thing is, but I just looked it up. The Bardi Wranglers are in Durango.
Okay.
So it's a similar type of thing, only the Flying W is in Colorado Springs.
Right.
Bardi, they're in Durango.
Okay. So forget Durango, go to Colorado Springs.
That's right, because that is where the Homeowners Show chuck wagon is.
That's
even
right.
though it is the Williams chuck wagon.
That's right.
I'm calling it the Homeowners Show chuck wagon.
You can go see the Homeowner Show chuck wagon. It's the 1863 Weber.
Nice.
It's a really cool wagon. I don't know if they're going to use everything from it, but it has like a 40-foot fly.
Wow.
That has all cedar posts.
You got to be a really tall dude to have a 40-foot fly. Just saying.
That's right. That's just a crotch.
I know.
So, yeah, anyway, it's gonna go live out there now.
Cool.
And it's gonna be part of the history. And apparently the Flying W was like a working ranch for years and years and years and years. And it's just part of Colorado history now. And so we're stoked that it's gonna be part of that heritage now in moving on down the line and helping rehabilitate, what's going on in Colorado. I mean, like in similar news, like my aunt and uncle have a place out in Colorado near Durango that almost burned to the ground recently.
Really?
They had some really bad forest fires out there. And like she was literally posting live video.
That's right.
On Facebook. And you could she was standing on her porch and it's like, there's the forest fire right there. It's fixing to come get the house.
Yeah, I saw it. It's unbelievable.
Yeah. And they were staying on the property because they, cultivate turkeys and elk and all these things. That's primarily what their place is used for, is for people to come and hunt.
Yeah.
And have, unique outdoor experiences. And man, they about lost everything.
Man.
So,
Crazy.
which is just, I mean, like, goofy burning laws in weird hippie states. So it's just a beef of mine, man. I mean, like, it's so stupid because, I mean, like, you can talk to any people from indigenous peoples groups, and they used to do massive burnings to keep that kind of thing from happening.
Sure.
And now we've developed this weird Smokey the Bear culture where, like, granted, most morons don't need to be setting fires in the forest.
True.
Controlled burns are a completely different thing, and those just aren't allowed.
Right.
And it causes these stupid wildfires.
Yeah.
So,
It doesn't take much for that to happen.
no, once it gets going, it's almost impossible to stop.
Right.
And like in one of my aunt's videos, you could watch like a fleet of helicopters trying to dump water on this stuff, and it doesn't do anything.
No. Nothing.
No,
It's crazy.
it's infuriating.
Yeah, and I've been backpacking in Colorado a lot in my life, and it's always kind of this weird deal of like, are we under a burn ban? Are we not under a burn ban? Like, can I have a fire? Can I not have a fire? All of those sorts of things, and which I understand because it's typically people like me who come to Colorado as a foreigner, so to speak, and come and think, oh, I'm going to backpack in the Rockies, or I'm going to go do this or whatever, and maybe don't know what's good. I mean, maybe you know how to backpack, but whenever it comes to like that kind of preservation of the land that you're on,
Right.
maybe don't fully understand what's going on.
Sure.
But it winds up becoming a big deal. But I'm with you. Like, in fact, forest fires in a lot of ways are the way some of these, like in the redwoods, for example, the way they spawn is through fire. So it's kind of a really, really weird thing, but like fire is actually good for those trees. And so it's kind of a weird concept here between how do you keep things safe and also not create hazardous spaces, it's bizarre.
Well, you empower those that know what they're doing to do what they do.
Yeah.
And that's just been off the table for years and years and years in places like Colorado and California, and like, imagine that. That's the place where we have like the worst, most horrendous forest fires ever.
Yep. It's true.
So
it's true. Well, listen, that's a cool story. Thanks for sharing. I'm excited that it's going to kind of have a home for a little while at least.
Yeah, and so my mom and dad get to go on a little adventure to Colorado, and they're going to go meet. Well, we'll see what happens. I mean, apparently there's supposed to be several Colorado dignitaries at the opening of this thing that they're going to be at to sort of christen the old Weber. So just real quick, how did they find out that your parents owned this chuck wagon? Because my mom went to high school with the gal that owns it, and she saw pictures on her Facebook profile of us doing stuff with the wagon. And like it's no big secret over the years. I mean, if you find us on Facebook, I mean, you've probably seen pictures of us in front of the wagon.
Yeah.
We used to do a ton of events with it, particularly around rodeo time.
Yeah.
And so it was no big secret. Most people that know us know that we have it because they've probably been to an event with it.
Sure.
Except you've never been invited.
Well, that's because y'all don't like me that much.
It's the red.
It's something. But that leads us right into our topic for today. Of course,
naturally.
We are still on our series of the 3 most important items in a room.
Yep, the top 3.
The top 3, according to me and according to you.
The most authoritative there could possibly ever be in regards to all rooms in your house.
Yeah, and when there's a debate of whether or not one of us is right, we just check Wikipedia, obviously.
Go to the internet.
Between Wikipedia and Facebook, we will solve the problem.
But not Twitter.
But no, well, does Twitter actually exist?
Twitter can suck it.
Well, yes, they can.
Take that, little bird.
Little blue bird. So we are headed. So we started out with the kitchen, and then we went to the living room. Now we are headed to the bedroom, And when
The
I
bedroom.
say the bedroom, I'm talking about the master bedroom.
Easy.
Well,
Easy.
why?
Because this is a controversial topic now.
Well, it is. So we live in a day and time when 2020 is the most ridiculous year to have ever happened.
Right.
There were all kinds of things that were happening at the beginning of the year that people just have completely forgotten about.
Right.
Big deals.
Big stuff. Yeah.
Big stuff. Then COVID happens. And then like murder hornets were here for a second.
Right.
And
I got rid of those.
yeah, you figured out how to tell everybody. I mean, that was you had a video that you put up and you like pretty much solved all of the world's problems.
That was such a stupid one. They found one dead one.
Yeah. So anyway, they were here for a minute, and then
Everyone's asking for him to come back right now. Have you seen stuff like that? Where like, bring back the murder hornets.
Yeah, could we get back to this?
Let's slow that roll for just a second. All right, like we really don't want them here, but like moving on.
So then we have the whole racist thing that has really gained an enormous amount of traction, and much of it for good reason.
Sure,
I mean definitely. But in and amongst all of that, we've had riots and we've had, just crazy protests, and some are peaceful, some aren't. And so all of this, and now we've got more COVID happening. Right. But in and amongst all,
don't forget, I don't know if you saw the story, meth gators.
I did not see the story.
You haven't seen about meth gators?
No, I did not see.
This is like my favorite 2020 thing yet.
Okay.
And I need to go back and read the actual article. I'm guessing it's in Florida.
That's where most of the gators are.
Yeah. But apparently because there's been so many raids, people have flushed so much meth down the toilet that the gators have begun consuming the meth, and they're now a more enraged and aggressive gator than they were before. And so
now we have murder gators.
The murder gators. The meth murder gators. So there actually was like an actual news story about this, and
goodness,
I just remember seeing like a meme about this where like the guy's doing like the what do you call it when everybody puts the money in the pool?
I don't know, a raffle,
something like that. Yeah. Okay. What is it? I guess it's a pool. You do like a betting pool.
Yeah.
And like it's a guy's like with his finger up, and he's like, "Who had meth gators for 2020?"
It's funny. Well, and not only that, not right now we got like the Sahara dust coming in, like
which FYI everyone, that happens every year.
Every year. But people are like, "Hey, what are the craziest things?" And I'm kind of like, "Hey, listen, I grew up in West Texas. Have you ever heard of a haboob, y'all?"
Haboob?
Because do you know what haboob is?
No.
It's like,
but like 10 years ago, I didn't know what cleachy was either, and I know what that is now. So I feel like I'm gonna learn something else that I can't unknow.
So a haboob, imagine like a.
Is it like a boob on a man?
It's like a nubbin.
Head got a boob.
Chandler had a nubbin. So no, completely different. Haboob. Imagine. I just lost the name. What is the massive tidal wave that happens in like Japan and
like a
what is it called?
I know it's not a tidal wave.
No,
but
it's a monsoon. No, it's not what it is. What is it called?
We're the worst.
It's late, y'all. It is 11:12 p.m. right now. It is late. Anyway, y'all all know what I'm talking about.
Typhoon.
Typhoon. There you go. All right, so imagine that, but a dust storm.
Right.
It's like this massive cloud of dust that you can see just coming, and it's like 1,000,000 miles tall is what it feels like.
Right.
And it just sweeps over the city. It is crazy. You need to go.
And the best thing Google. They could come up with was haboob.
People in West Texas are crazy. All right. I love them, but they're crazy.
Got your mojo and your haboobs and your cleachy pit.
Well, there is a caliche pit
I just
out there somewhere,
spoke to
too.
someone in West
Actually-
Texas, and they knew exactly what I was talking about.
Well, we met out of the caliche pit multiple times to like hang out. So that was a thing. But anyway, anyway, back to the topic at hand.
Master bedroom.
Yeah, master bedroom. So the topic has taken this turn to where realtors are now being pushed to no longer call it a master bedroom.
Right.
It is now to be called the primary bedroom.
Right.
And so we're Craig and I are not here right now to debate whether or not this is right, wrong, or just another turn that we're taking at the moment.
But if you want to do so, you can always hit us up on Twitter.
Right. Yeah. Good luck, because I'll tell you what we won't do. We won't interact with you through Twitter. You can interact with yourselves, but we will not be there interacting with you. But it's just it's an interesting thing, right?
Yeah.
But
Well, and I think it's not just real estate agents. Like I think they're pushing a lot of the listing sources to do this. I mean, when you think about like the Zulias and the Trulia, not Zulia, Trulia, Zulily,
right? Realtor,
whatever, yeah, like Redfin,
yeah,
all those places to like stop having that as an option,
yeah,
on the listing,
right? Which I mean, so you might be asking yourself, like, why is that a big deal? But the reality of it is there are certain homes that have multiple masters,
right, in them,
multiple master bedrooms. So I don't know how they're gonna navigate that whole thing.
If they decide to bend the knee on this issue, they're going to have to figure out a better way to differentiate these names in their nomenclature.
Yeah.
So
anyway, not here to debate it. We're just gonna kind of call it what it's always been called up until like last week,
right?
The master bedroom. So we're going with that. If we're wrong, people, we're sorry. We formally apologize before we ever start.
I don't apologize for nothing.
Okay. Well, there was that one time when if you didn't apologize,
I'm not apologizing for anything in this episode.
Okay. All right.
Yet.
Yeah, fair enough.
Give me time. If I make Kevin cry, then you might get an apology out of me. Off air.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. It will not be recorded. So, you want to go first? You want me to go first? And we're going to, are these in order? Because I don't really have an order of mine.
Yeah, we have to go in order.
We have to go in order.
They have to be like the worst to the best.
Okay.
Well, like our worst top, it's like our number 3.
Okay.
Down to number 1.
Okay. Well, then in that case, you get to go first, because I got a number mine in my head about which is the most important.
All right.
So
my number 3 is going to be a high quality fan.
Oh yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah, for sure. And like I say high quality fan because in my bedroom, in my master bedroom, we don't have any ceiling fans.
Yeah, if you don't have a ceiling fan in your bedroom, that's tough.
Sure. But there's ways around this.
Obviously.
And so we actually have a remote. Certainly. We have a remote control oscillating, really cool fan.
Okay. Is it a Dyson?
No.
Okay.
I think it's Lasco.
Okay. Oh yeah.
I think. Yeah. We've had it for a number of years now. It's been a great fan. And I will probably end up upgrading later on to actually wall mounted. And so part of the reason that we don't have a ceiling fan in our master bedroom is our ceilings are actually kind of low in our master bedroom.
Right. Like even so low that even a ceiling hugger fan wouldn't really work. It's still pretty low.
Right. And there's not much to attach it to.
Okay.
Because we have what do you call it? Beadboard ceilings.
Yeah.
In our master. But like having a high quality fan that can actually push air, because I like fans that like I can't actually feel the air moving when like I'm standing in front of it or near it, just annoy the bejesus out of me. I understand the concept behind the big A fans.
Yeah.
But they annoy me. because if I stand underneath them, I don't feel anything.
Right.
So I don't think that they're working. I know that they are.
Yeah.
I know that they are because otherwise they're the world's biggest ripoff.
Oh yeah, because they're thousands of dollars.
Yeah. I mean, like the big ones are like five G's easy.
They're ridiculous.
But anyway, I like one I can stand in front of and actually feel the air moving.
Sure.
And I like an oscillating kind of a feel. But like a good ceiling fan would do the trick as well.
Yeah.
And in my kids' rooms, which is not the master bedroom, by the way, they have like a smaller fan.
Okay.
Like most ceiling fans have like, I forget what the inch on the span.
Typically, aren't it like 42 inches, something like that? I think
that could be totally true, and I'd never know if you were lying.
Well, that's a number.
Yeah,
I know that.
I know that there's 52-inch fans, but those are massive, and then there's like I think a 64-inch fan.
Yeah,
but I don't remember what like the standard.
I think it's 40.
You could be totally right.
I think it's 42, but
right. We're gonna go with that.
Don't quote us.
And then we're gonna go to Wikipedia.
Yeah, and Facebook
and find out what's right. But this is much smaller, like half the size of a normal regular size ceiling fan. And I like them because one, there's less chance of my kids sticking their fingers in it. But it to me, it feels like it pushes a lot more air. It has really fat blades on it. And it has good speed.
Yeah.
So all that to say, my number 3 ceiling fan.
Okay.
Hands down.
Well, interestingly enough, I'm going to put a little honorable mention in here.
Okay.
And I'm going to agree with you, but with a little bit of a caveat.
Okay.
We have a fan in our room that is essential. That if I didn't actually put it in my top 3, it would probably be wrong. I would probably be wrong about this.
Okay.
It's that important, and it is simply for noise.
Okay.
We have a fan. Like I went to Home Depot back, and we've had this fan for probably 11 or 12 years at this point.
Sure.
I went to Home Depot and I said, "Hey, where are your fans? I can't find them." They're like, "Oh, they're over on this aisle," because I actually found someone at Home Depot to help me, which is unusual, right? Lowe's, completely different conversation.
Were they an employee?
Right? Yeah, I don't think so. They're just someone walking around with an orange shirt. And so I went over to the fans, and they actually walked with me over there, and they were like, I think these are like supposed to be quiet or whatever. I was like, oh, no. No, I want the loudest fan. Which one's your loudest one? They were like, what are you talking about? I'm like, I just need noise.
Yeah.
So we have a fan that is in a corner, and it just kind of blends into the wall, and it is simply for noise. And so whenever we go like on vacation or to other people's houses, like we use the app on our phone, like the white noise app, just because we like sleeping with just a little bit of noise going on.
Sure.
So we have a fan, not a sound machine. We don't prefer those, although I realize that's what the app is, but we prefer kind of that natural wind sound. So as an honorable mention.
There you go.
All right.
We actually use an Alexa Dot when we travel. In our room, we have like actually one of the full Echoes. But we say, Alexa, ask thunderstorm sounds to loop.
Oh, okay.
And it just plays continuous thunderstorm sound. You can also do it for waves, like ocean sounds or rainforest noises. She has a plethora of noises that she can loop.
And now we know.
Yeah.
So, all right, my number 3.
She might even have ceiling fan noises. I don't know.
Well, they don't typically make too much noise unless it's like a...
Is that what yours does?
No, I'm just saying like some old ones, they might make that sound. It's obviously similar to a horror movie.
If that's what you're after, I mean,
it's like whenever Jason is after you, I think that's the sound.
You're trying to like dull the senses, is that?
I guess. I don't know. All right, my number 3, big reveal. After all that, a lamp.
A lamp.
Yeah, because
floor lamp, table lamp. What are we talking about here?
I'm thinking like for me, it's a side table lamp.
Okay.
Like so we actually don't have a traditional side table, but we have like side drawers, kind of. It's like this 4-drawer chest, but it's small.
Right.
I mean, it's probably like 12 by 12 inch type of thing. But on each of our stands is a lamp. And so, for us, there's a lot of times when we're in our bedroom and we don't need full light going on,
Right.
for whatever reason. And a lot of times we'll turn the light off, we'll read, just by lamp light rather than have the big light. Because a lot of times for us, we like to lay down and read or do something, but still want some light going on, but we don't want the light glaring down on us from the ceiling. So lamp light just kind of gives us some ambient light. It's not as hard. The other thing is like we obviously our children go to bed quite a bit earlier than we do, but if we didn't have any lights on in our room, which our rooms are right next to our kids' room, our room is next to our kids' room, and so if it would be really dark, and so if we just flipped on the main light, it would be pretty bright. So at night we'll just turn those lights on, leave the room, and that way whenever we come in at night, there's still some light going on, but it's not like overpowering or anything.
Do y'all leave it on while you sleep?
No. But just like while our kids are asleep, instead of turning the main light on so that it's not so dark when we walk in a room, we'll just turn on one of our lamps.
I gotcha.
So
okay.
we just got some ambient light going on. So for us, a nightstand lamp is really important.
Nice.
Yeah.
Are you using LEDs? Halogens. What we got rocking in this lamp?
So interestingly enough, just because it hasn't gone off, it hasn't burned out yet. My lamp currently has a CFL in it.
Okay.
And my wife's has an LED, but they're the warm white light, because anything other than that's a little bit bright. So.
I was totally opposed to LEDs until just recently. Like I feel like they just got it right where it doesn't feel like a fluorescent.
Yeah, well, part of it is they figured out how to change the color of them. Mm-hmm. I think for so long they were bright.
Yeah.
And so now that you can get, really, you've got three different options. You got the warm white, the cool light, and the daylight.
Right.
And of course, now there's all different. You can buy the bulbs. You can change color on an app. Right?
Yeah.
Which is pretty awesome. So yeah, they're doing a lot of things right. I mean, whenever you can take 120 or like 100 watt typical bulb and it's like 5 watts.
Right.
That's huge. I mean, the amount of money you were saving, you could leave that light on all day and not...
Because it wasn't working for a while there to appeal to my humanity and say, but like, think of all the electricity that you're saving. I'm like, yeah, but it looks like crap in here.
Oh, and they were $5,000.
Right.
It's like one LED bulb was like $20. I'm like, I'm not doing that. I'm not paying... So I'm going to save 49 cents on my electricity bill for this $20 bulb. No.
Pass.
Pass. But they've figured some things out for sure.
Have. Good on you, scientific guy or gal.
All right, what's your number 2?
My number 2 is I need an armchair in my bedroom.
Oh.
So, and my favorite chair in the entire house is actually in my bedroom.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's my favorite place. It's it's no knock on the rest of the furniture in my house, but it's like the one place I know that I can go and I can sit and I can typically be quiet, and read a good book and just chill.
Yeah.
I love having that armchair in my bedroom. It's a must have for me now. Now that I've had it.
Yeah.
And so I have a similar setup where like I have my armchair, a bookshelf right next to that. And I think we've talked before about how many bookshelves we have in the house, but then I have a hanging lamp next to that. And so it's just kind of like my little reading nook that I have in the master bedroom. It's just a big leather armchair.
Yeah.
No recline function or anything like that. It has an ottoman.
Yeah.
With it, but like it's strictly for sitting and reading.
Yeah, and you've got like a little interesting nook in your bedroom that really fits really nicely into. Yeah. So it makes sense. What else would you really do with that space other than make a little sitting area? But that's obviously become important on top of all that.
So it's been a nice feature that we didn't. I mean, like honestly, we've never really had a bedroom big enough to have that. And once we kind of rearranged the furniture just right, it made space for that. And it's been a nice feature to have in there. It's almost like a smaller living room just for us. Yeah. And so that's been really nice.
Sure. Okay. Cool. Well, my number 2 is going to be a floor length mirror.
Oh,
so like a full body mirror, something that whenever we're getting dressed, we can look and go, okay, this is going to be okay. So for us, what's the one that we have?
So it's freestanding?
Yes.
Okay.
The one we have is freestanding. My mother-in-law actually made it.
Oh, cool.
So yeah, it's really, really neat. She made it out of so the,
I'm going to guess glass.
well, there is some glass in there, but what she made the frame with is there was old basketball court. The wood from the old basketball court at their high school,
Right, yeah.
was taken out, and she wound up with a lot of it. I think they were kind of giving it away or whatever, and she went and got a bunch of it. And so we actually have multiple pieces in our house that she has made from
the floor,
some of that wood from this court. And so she made the frame out of it, and it's got a hinge with legs on the back of it, and then a piece of mirrored glass in it. And it's nothing fancy, but it matches our furniture because all of our furniture in our bedroom is black.
Okay.
And so she just painted it black. And for us, it's become one of those things that's like, I can imagine one of these days, like our daughter will probably want that mirror.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because she'll remember it for forever and ever type of thing. And it's made really well. And so for us, it's actually a piece of furniture in the room. But it kind of takes a prominent place in a corner. Just kind of that's what that corner is for.
Yeah.
Which I know that probably kind of sounds weird to a lot of people, but for us it's nice. I mean, a lot of times in a bathroom, for example, in your master ensuite, whatever, you don't typically have a floor length mirror. So
right.
How are you going to see below your waist if you don't really know what you're looking at? So,
yeah. Do you find you mismatch your shoes a lot there, Kev?
My Chacos sometimes. I do every once in a while.
You got multiple colors. Yeah.
No, now I will tell you. Let's take a little sidebar for a second and talk about mirrors for just a minute.
Okay.
So I've done some mission trips before to like Central America, and I've been to Honduras a couple of times. I've been to a couple of different places actually, but so Honduras specifically is a place that sticks out to me because I remember at one point we were working in this kind of really, really remote village. Like it would take me a while to explain how remote this place is, but to walk to the nearest little place to get any groceries is a 3.5 hour walk one way. So it's a whole day journey just to kind of go to the
grocery store
to get groceries at all. Which is why they actually grow most of their food.
Yeah.
But we had a pickup, and we were kind of going in, and there were some little girls. They were probably my daughter's age, like 4 to 8 years old, somewhere around in there. And we told them to get it, hey, go ahead and get in the truck. We'll take you where we're going. And it was obvious the way they were giggling. They had never been in a vehicle before. Okay. I mean, think about that for a minute. They'd never been in a vehicle before. And then they saw the rearview mirror, and I don't think they'd ever seen what they look like. I mean, can you imagine?
That's crazy.
That they don't know what they look like because they've never seen a mirror, because they don't, I mean, this remote village just doesn't have that kind of thing. I mean, the reason we were there is to build latrines for them because they don't have a place to go to the bathroom. And so, I mean, that's how primitive they were living. And so just a bizarre thing to think that someone 8 years old and probably some of their parents have no idea what they look like. Isn't that bizarre?
That's bizarre.
Okay, well, sidebar. What's your number 2? You already went to number 2.
I did my number 2.
What's your number 1?
Number 1. Before we get to our number 1, what you need most in your house, Kevin, before you get to number 1
or number 2
is a good plumber.
That's right. The segue was so perfect.
It was.
You're
almost
welcome.
as if we planned it.
But
Which,
we didn't.
those of you that know us know that we plan nothing.
Nothing. That's right. Paul the plumber.
Other than being partnered with great companies like Paul the Plumber, guys.
That's right.
If you need good plumbing service in your home, give Paul a call. Give Deborah a call at 832-521-3252. You can book them online. You can book them on Facebook and the ever famous virtual inspection.
The most amazing thing ever invented.
Yep.
Well, close. Yeah.
I mean, the technology that provides that is probably pretty amazing, but the fact that they leveraged it,
Right.
incredible.
Well, it's just incredibly smart.
Yeah. So if you haven't seen it yet, there's the logo. Give Paul a call.
That's right.
It's a great sponsor of the show. Thank you, Paul.
Yes, sir.
My number one. Am I going first?
You're going first.
So this is actually you just got to have a good mattress. At the end of the day,
Yeah.
you got to have a high quality mattress, and this is very close to home for me right now because I've been going to the chiropractor for the last 2 months because my back is all out of sorts, and we have determined that it has to do with my failing mattress.
Okay.
I have literally worn like a divot into this thing.
Sure.
And my chiropractor has literally written me a prescription for a new mattress.
Oh my goodness.
So the problem is we're not supposed to make any new purchases right now because we're actually in the middle of a refinance. And so,
Whoops.
so we're biding our time. I've been going to the chiropractor like every 14 days, and he's been adjusting me and getting me. I'm feeling a lot better. Thank you, Chad. If you're listening, you're amazing. You made me feel like a brand new human being. But here very soon, I'm going to go see our mutual friend, Will Underwood.
Yeah.
And he's going to hook me up with some fancy schmancy, new, highly technological, comfortable mattress thingy. And I'm going to be even feeling better.
Yeah. So this is a topic that is tough because it was time for my wife and I to get a new mattress. I don't know, 5 or 6 years ago. Mm-hmm. And so we started looking, and
which that's a good question, man. Like, how often should you rotate that thing out?
Well,
I mean, like, that's probably not a question for you and I to answer. I mean, like, we really need to bring like a professional in and like tell us what we need to do because,
well, let's get William on the show.
We're idiots.
Why have we not gotten William on the show?
I don't know.
Okay, William, we're gonna get you on the show.
I don't think he likes us.
Well, he doesn't like me, so it's probably
you can sit on this side of the table.
Yeah, that's right. When we were so a lot of times it seems like you can kind of go with not just warranty, because a lot of times warranty is like a year, maybe 3 years on these things, but kind of what I was told whenever we were looking is like sometimes it's like 7 to 8 years.
Okay,
is typically what you get out of a mattress, but it really depends on what you get. So, for example, nowadays, used to is like you have to flip your mattress every year or 6 months or whatever it is. Well, now mattresses are kind of built
to be where they are.
Yeah. So you don't really, most mattresses, obviously your traditional older style of mattress, spring mattresses, those kind of things, you can still flip those, but they've gone to such different technology these days on how they build mattresses that you're not supposed to flip them. Right. And so, you can spend a little bit of money or a lot of money, but one of the things that I have, and this is a question that I'd really like to ask William, is like, a lot of times whenever you go into a mattress store, you lay on a mattress, you buy it, you take it home, and it feels different. Mm-hmm. Because that mattress has been laid on by however many people, and it's kind of been worn in a little bit.
Yeah.
And we actually had a mattress store tell us, like, well, you kind of got to wear, like, there's a little bit of a wear-in period. And we're like, well, this is horrible. I don't need to wear, like, I don't want to have to go to
it now. Can I have that one?
Yeah, exactly. Like, trade me for that one. And like, why is it that it's going to take me, a month before I'm going to actually like this thing? Like, I'm going to hate life for the next month. So we actually took it back. I'm not joking. Like, I called him. I'm like, can I take this back? And they're like, yeah, you can. I was like, all right, coming tomorrow, and so we took it back. So I told my wife, I said, okay, babe, like, I know you don't want to, I know you don't want to do this. And because she had told me over and over, I'm like, we need to go to the Sleep Number store. We need to go to the Sleep Number store. And she was like, I'm not spending that much money on a mattress because they're expensive. And I said, let's just go and see. She's got a bad back too. So I'm like, listen, you can adjust both sides of this thing. Like, let's just go try it out. If we hate it, we'll walk out. But if we don't, we'll just kind of figure it out.
Right.
So we go and...
See, this is why William Dunway, he'd slap you.
Oh yeah, because he doesn't work for Sleep Number. And so we walk in, and of course we find the mattress that we love, and we order it, and it was like $2,500
Okay.
for this mattress. Now, the other one that we had purchased was like $800, $900, something like that. So my wife's sitting here going, oh my goodness, this is so much money. But I told her this, like, think about this for a minute. Typically, if you're getting the amount of sleep that you should be getting every night, which is a really big health thing, like you should be sleeping. For most adults, you have to get a minimum of 7. 8 is recommended.
Right.
So if you were to spend 8 hours in bed like you should, that's a third of your life.
Yep.
1/3 of your life. So I put it to her like this. Do you spend a third of your life in your vehicle? Most likely not. And how much are you spending on a truck, for example? You could easily spend $50,000 on a truck. Easy. And you're going to keep it for how long? I don't know. For most people, like you might get 5 or 6 years out of it before you go buy another $50,000 truck.
Right.
Now, that's not me. I kept my truck for now 17 years, but I'm abnormal when it comes to that. But this mattress that we bought for $2,500 that we're going to spend a third of our life on, it's got a 25-year warranty on it. 25 years. So they're saying this thing should last a minimum of 25 years because we will warranty it for that long. Now, you're not keeping a vehicle for 25 years, most likely.
No, more than likely not.
And $2,500 is a drop in a bucket compared to, and we're talking major health stuff here. Like when I had ACL replacement or reconstructive surgery, it was way more than $2,500. Like you spend money on your health a lot of times, whether it's food, whether it's these sorts of things. So my deal is like buy a good mattress, whether it's Sleep Number or Sealy or whatever brand, Posturepedic, I don't care what it is. Buy the mattress that is good for you, for your health.
Yeah.
It is super, super important.
Yeah, and I forget which episode it was when we had Dr. Zano in, but I remember that being like one of his like primary things was like, look, spend the money on the things that matter, because at the end of the day, you're almost always going to regret not getting the best quality that you can afford for the situation that you're in.
Yeah.
So anyway, I love that.
Yeah.
So
good stuff. We spent a lot of time talking about mattresses just now.
Well, it's a worthwhile topic.
Yeah.
I have no idea which one I'm going to get right now. The one that I have, I've enjoyed for the time that we've had it.
Yeah.
But it's time for a new one.
Sure.
And so I'm keenly aware of how important that is in my bedroom right now.
Yeah. Good stuff.
So
all right.
Number 1, Kev, what you got?
Number 1, probably not on everybody's list, but for me, room darkening curtains.
Oh.
Yes. Now, this has been something that we've had in our house since we've been married, is we want a dark room. And it's interesting because my wife doesn't like pitch dark whenever she's sleeping. She likes to have, especially in our bathroom, she wants to be able to like go in there and see a little bit, Well, she doesn't like pitch black, but in the mornings, the sun comes in, and if you don't have some good,
especially you also see a lot of windows across the back of the house.
That's the other thing. We have an entire wall, like the long wall, whatever the dimensions of our room, the longer wall is completely windows.
Yeah,
and so now it faces west, so that helps, but still the sunlight's going to come in,
right? And
without room darkening curtains, it would be a nightmare to try to sleep past like 6.
Now, are those curtains that you guys bought, or did you make them?
No, we bought them.
Okay.
I think we bought them at like Target even.
Okay.
They're not like any super special high end, but they're black, which works really well in our room because we got black furniture. So, the black works. And, but they're just a real heavy thick material that honestly light does not come through. If you have those things closed during the day, you could easily think, oh, this is easy to take a nap in. So for us, having some good curtains that block out light so that you're not waking up at the crack of dawn, when the roosters are crowing. Now our kids wake up super early, but they know not to come in our room. And so, yep, for us, room darkening curtains.
Nice.
Yeah.
I can see the value in that.
I mean, it's nothing special, but when
it makes a big difference.
It does. Like whenever I think about, okay, what are the things in my room that I need to enjoy the sleep? What are they? And good dark curtains for my room is really important. Now, if we wanted to buy in a house that didn't have lots of windows, probably regular curtains would probably be fine.
Yeah.
Or even blinds maybe, but not in the house that we live in now, for sure.
Yeah, so. I'm not a big fan of blinds. I mean, because like you gotta turn them the right way just to send the sunlight, and even then, like it can bounce off and make the room bright.
Yeah.
So it's just not an efficient use.
No.
Of the space sometimes.
It's not.
So I mean, it can definitely make it like darker.
Sure.
Than it would have been, but
yeah.
So, which by the way, like I don't know if I talked to this. I got these new blinds for my bathroom window that have no string.
Yeah, you told me.
Did we talk about that on the show already?
I think you did.
So I love those things, man.
Yeah,
I love the clean look of them.
Yeah, it's like almost hydraulic. Like you push up on it and they raise, right?
And like no cat is gonna hang himself in a string. Not that I would ever have an indoor cat, but like.
And if you did, hanging itself would be fine.
That would be fine. He'd deserve it.
That's right.
Shouldn't have been in my house in the first place.
That's right. Exactly.
But yeah, I think that's a very, very diverse list, Kevin.
I said before we started that our lists would be different. Yeah. I felt pretty confident of it. So, for me, I kind of took for granted the fact that we're going to have a bed. I mean, you were specific with the mattress. I think that's good. You're going to have a bed. You're probably going to have, some sort of chest of drawers or maybe a dresser of some sort. But really, like we were talking about this on the Home Builder show a little bit, like a lot of people are now building their master closet or primary closet, if you want to call it.
Sure.
But your main closet, big, and putting, like a big chest of drawers in there, or like
or built-in
of some sort that like all of your clothing is in other rooms, so your room becomes more of a presentation, a beautiful, like a luxurious, very, very kind of peaceful place, and it's not filled with like cabinets and drawers and that kind of thing.
We have a chest of drawers in our bedroom.
Okay.
It's completely unnecessary. Like I don't use it for clothes.
Oh.
It's for other things.
Okay.
Like our primary source of clothing storage is our Alpha system.
Oh yeah. Alpha's great.
And I love it. That's where our drawers are. That's where our clothes are. We don't really use our bedroom for clothing storage.
Yeah.
At all. So, I love it.
I'm interested to know what other people's top 3 are.
Yeah.
Because maybe they're different.
Unless you're boring.
Well, obviously. Like if you're boring.
Or if your answer includes any of the above. Beanbag, lava lamp. Pet rock.
Yeah, like chia pet. Like what are they called? Like a dream catcher. if you got a dream catcher in your bedroom,
any sort of mango paraphernalia.
Like rabbit's feet. Yeah. If you get a rabbit's foot in your,
we're not interested.
Yeah, like if you're hanging things from the mirror on your dresser, like old high school awards,
or as our friend Tanya mentioned, a swing.
Oh
yeah.
If that's it, I mean, whatever.
Yeah. And you can list it because you'll be outed.
Yeah. Prove it with pictures. That's all I'm saying. Prove it with
Please
pictures.
don't.
Yeah. Polls. Don't. Okay. People have things like maybe you still got shag carpet in here.
That would be awesome.
Show it to us.
I could shock the ever living out of somebody with those things.
Yes.
I could light up a light bulb.
Yeah. That's funny. So yeah, tell us what your top 3 are. That's great. If you have commentary on the whole master versus primary, we're willing to listen, just not on Twitter. And
take it to Twitter. Please take it to Twitter.
Please take it to Twitter. Good luck. But yeah, we're glad you downloaded the episode. Hopefully it's been interesting for you. And if you haven't already, go ahead and subscribe to our channel. That would be great.
Mm-hmm.
On iTunes or now it's Apple Podcast.
Apple Podcast.
Or Google Podcast.
Yep, there too. Stitcher
is a great one.
Spotify.
Yep, all good. And now we are really stepping up our YouTube presence in a big way. And so starting
get all the ugly.
Yeah, starting with this episode, I'm going to be putting a link in our show notes here to subscribe to the YouTube channel, and that way I can
finally subscribe.
Absolutely, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. That way, anytime we put something up, which we're putting content up in between our shows. So,
yeah, there's not just like the episodes up every week. There's clips. There's other things that are going up.
Right.
That you'll probably want to check out.
Yeah. So, and subscribe, click the bell so that you get notified whenever a new video goes up. And leave us a review on iTunes. That would be fantastic. So that's kind of all the plugs that I've got. Thanks for downloading the show. Hope you enjoyed it. Tell your friends about it. And, we're here every Tuesday. Right, Craig?
Every Tuesday.
Every single Tuesday. Thanks for joining us. Until next time, we'll see you later.
See you.